Have you ever had a jealous boss? Did he make your office life harder than it should be? Maybe he was jealous of you. How about the group leader of your social circle? Did he ever make your life harder out of pure jealousy? We'll unravel the secrets of never outshining the master, a principle that has shaped the fate of many, from the grand courts of French monarchs to the scientific pursuits of Galileo. If you are naturally talented or charismatic, you have to apply the principles in this chapter, not just to your professional life, but to your entire social life as well. Never outshine the master. Judgment. Always strive to make those who stand above you on the ladder of authority feel superior without the sting of condescension. In your efforts to please them and capture their favor, it's crucial to walk a delicate balance between showcasing your talents and treading on egos. Overstepping in your demonstrations of aptitude might backfire and result in the opposite effect. You could inadvertently stir a cocktail of fear and insecurity in your superiors. The key to ascending to the pinnacles of power is to master the art of painting your superiors as even more brilliant than they might be in reality. This approach to dealing with those in power is essential to your rise, be it in the boardroom, the palace, or even the battlefield. Transgression of the law. As a cautionary tale, let's traverse back in time to the era of Louis XIV, the Sun King. In the vibrant courts of the French monarch, there lived a man named Nicolas Fouquet, the superintendent of finances. Fouquet was a man who reveled in the grandeur and excess of his station. His life was a tableau vivant of opulent parties, an array of stunning women, and a staggering wealth that would make Croesus turn green with envy. In 1661, the position of prime minister became vacant. Fouquet, confident of his standing with the king and his undeniable talent, thought he would naturally be Louis's choice. However, the Sun King, in his inscrutable wisdom, decided to abolish the position altogether. This surprising move filled Fouquet with an underlying trepidation, prompting him to concoct an audacious plan to impress Louis, a grand fate that would be remembered for centuries. He invited the crème de la crème of European society, serving lavish dishes that would titillate even the most jaded palate. He presented a play by the acclaimed playwright Molière as the pièce de résistance. As the final feather in his cap, Fouquet gave Louis a grand tour of his newly completed chateau, Vaux-le-Vicomte, finishing with a dazzling fireworks display that illuminated the French sky. However, the rooster's crow of the following day brought devastating news for Fouquet. He was arrested on charges of embezzlement, an act he committed primarily to appease Louis. His fate was sealed. He spent the remainder of his life, 2 long decades, in a remote prison. Meanwhile, Louis, whose ego had been bruised by the grandiosity of Fouquet's party, found a worthy replacement in Jean-Baptiste Colbert. Colbert was a master of frugality, just the man Louis needed to cleanse the royal coffers of the extravagance that Fouquet had brought. Further, to outdo Fouquet, Louis embarked on building Versailles, a palace so opulent it would put Vaux-le-Vicomte to shame. Fouquet, in his miscalculated zeal, thought his extravagant party would cement his place as Louis's favorite. He hoped to showcase his impeccable taste, wealth, and popularity. However, instead of earning admiration, he sparked a fear of usurpation in Louis. Feeling threatened and insecure, Louis used the charges of theft as a convenient excuse to remove Fouquet from his sphere. Triggering feelings of threat or insecurity in your superior can cause a precipitous fall from grace, just as Fouquet experienced. The fall can be from the top of the world to the abyss in the blink of an eye. Observance of the law. Juxtaposing Fouquet's story, let's journey to Italy in the 17th century, where lived an astronomer and scientist named Galileo Galilei. Galileo, in his quest for knowledge, was heavily dependent on the patronage of rich rulers who provided funding for his scientific pursuits. As a gesture of gratitude and to maintain his relationships with his benefactors, Galileo would often gift them his inventions. One such invention, a military compass, was gifted to a duke. However, instead of being compensated with hard currency, these benefactors would often return Galileo's generosity with presents, resulting in an unstable livelihood for the scientist. However, Galileo's fortunes took a dramatic turn in 1610. With the discovery of the 4 moons of Jupiter, he decided to dedicate the entire discovery solely to the Medici family, the then ruling family of Florence. His reasons for doing so were deeply symbolic. Jupiter, the king of gods, was the emblem of the Medici family. By weaving an intricate narrative, Galileo connected his discovery to the four Medici sons. He drew a parallel between the moons orbiting Jupiter and the suns revolving around Cosimo de' Medici, the family patriarch. He even went a step further and designed an emblem showcasing Jupiter with the four moons for the Medicis. This grand gesture paid off, and Galileo was made the official philosopher and mathematician of the court, earning him a steady income and freeing him from the cycle of asking for handouts. This story teaches an invaluable lesson. Those who hold power are not merely interested in being the sponsors of notable work. Instead, they wish to bask in the glory of their patronage, their reputation burnished by their association with greatness. By connecting the Medici family to his astronomical discovery, Galileo elevated them beyond the mere sponsors of his work. In doing so, he never caused them to feel inferior or overshadowed. He ensured they shone brighter than any other patron, a brilliant move in the delicate chess game of social dynamics. Keys to power. Insecurity is an intrinsic part of the human condition. When you exhibit your talents, you risk sparking envy and resentment among others. While it is impractical to constantly fret over the sentiments of everyone, it becomes paramount to tread carefully when dealing with those in positions of power. To outshine your superior is a faux pas, irrespective of the setting, be it a royal court or a modern-day office. Those wielding power see themselves as the reigning monarchs of their domain. They desire to feel superior, to be regarded as smarter, more charismatic, and more delightful than anyone else. You might be tempted to think that showcasing your talents will earn their approval. However, that could turn into a catastrophic blunder, as they might perceive your brilliance as a threat. There are two crucial principles to bear in mind in this context. First, it's possible that your natural talents might unintentionally outshine your superior. Some individuals in positions of power are profoundly insecure. If you are naturally gifted, you might inadvertently eclipse them, causing them to feel threatened. In such situations, it is advisable to either steer clear of such bosses or learn to discreetly downplay your talents around them. Second, do not fall into the trap of complacency if your superior takes a liking to you. History is replete with instances of individuals who tumbled from their positions of favor because they assumed they were invincible and dared to outshine their superiors. It is a hazardous path, one that could lead to your downfall. So, what is the solution? The key is subtlety. If you are more intelligent, feign a degree of naivety and seek their guidance. If your ideas are superior, present them as if they are an extension of your superior's thoughts. If your humor outshines theirs, don't steal the limelight with your wit. If you're more sociable, don't overshadow your superior. Your primary objective should always be to ensure your superior feels like the brightest star in the galaxy. Remember this metaphor: there is but one sun in our sky. Attempting to rival its brightness is an exercise in futility. Instead, devise strategies to enhance its brilliance. By following this approach, you maintain control of your situation and simultaneously elevate your status. You rise not by outshining your superior, but by enabling them to shine brighter in the eyes of others. Mastering this strategy is the key to success in the intricate dance of social dynamics. Reversal. Although navigating the intricacies of social dynamics requires a certain level of mindfulness, it's neither practical nor beneficial to be perpetually worried about offending others. It's essential to understand where to draw the line and when to choose your battles. If the person in power is struggling to maintain their grip on their position, there is no need to hold yourself back for fear of outshining them. After all, they most likely didn't restrain themselves on their path to the top. Why should you? However, it's crucial to gauge the atmosphere. If the person in power is faltering, deploy your intellect, charm, and talents to outdo them when it matters the most. But what if they're on the verge of collapse? In such scenarios, it might be best to refrain from pushing them over the edge. It could come across as cruel or vindictive. What if your superior is holding strong, but you are confident in your abilities to outperform them? Patience, in this case, becomes your greatest asset. Power is a transient asset. It eventually wanes over time. If you play your cards right, you can position yourself to step into their shoes when their power diminishes. It allows you to seize the opportunity to shine even brighter when it presents itself. Just as the moon borrows light from the sun and uses it to illuminate the night sky, it's possible to use this strategy in the game of power. Don't strive to replace the sun. Instead, reflect its light, and in doing so, you might end up shining even brighter. In conclusion, remember to exercise wisdom and humility in the quest for power. Everyone wants to feel superior, especially those in power. Understanding this fact and applying it intelligently could save you from a fate like Fouquet's and could help you follow a path like Galileo's. A key to achieving power and maintaining it is understanding the dynamics of power and learning how to navigate them effectively. Making those above you feel comfortably superior while subtly showcasing your skills is a tried and tested method for attaining the heights of power. The moon doesn't strive to outshine the sun, it basks in its glow, and so should you. In the game of power, it is not always the one who shines the brightest that wins, but rather the one who can make others shine brighter. And so, the most important law to remember in the pursuit of power: never outshine the master. If you enjoyed or learned something from this video, do me a favor and give it a like, share it to your friends, and hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next uploads. See you on the next video.